With the NFL draft upon us, what will the Baltimore Ravens do with a plethora of picks in today's NFL draft? Tonight, we get started with round one, where they pick 14th overall, and we'll see what happens this weekend as the Baltimore Ravens have a plethora of draft options and needs on this current roster. I'm God's favorite host, the host of the Moist. Flex on Podcast, the only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Let's talk NFL draft with the Baltimore Ravens here on the Flex on Podcast. Hit that thumbs up, like the video, comment down below, share, and let me know what you think. Hit that bell for all notifications. What do you think the Ravens need to do in the first round and this weekend heading into the NFL draft? What is going on, Flex Zone family? God's favorite host, the host with the Moist, back again with more 2022 NFL draft coverage. I'm talking Baltimore Ravens. What do they need to do this weekend in the NFL draft? They have a lot of needs, a lot of holes to fill to be competitive and get back into the playoffs. Let's look at it here on the Flex Zone podcast. Again, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and of course, comment down below. Let me know what you think the Ravens will do tonight. The Ravens have 10 draft picks, including 9 in the first 4 rounds of the draft. Of course, we all know we've known for a while they pick at 14. What will they do at 14? Personally, I think the Ravens need to be ultra aggressive tonight. We know the Ravens have known to stick to their board and a lot of times either stand pat or trade back. I think it's time for Mr. Eric DaCosta, which is the most important draft of his life as a GM, with some holes and a pending big contract due to his superstar quarterback needing help on the defensive side of the ball, especially, and on the offensive line as well. Rumors coming out that Ronnie Stanley will be ready for the regular season, but I won't believe it until I see it, so I'll take it with a grain of salt. But picking at 14, I think the Ravens should be ultra aggressive. I think looking at some potential fits, I think when it comes to the offensive line position, I think Ike Ekwonu, Evan Neal, as well as Charles Cross will all be gone by pick 14. I think Derek Stingley, Kyle Hamilton, Jermaine Johnson, the second out of Florida State, will also be gone if we wait until 14. Now, a lot of names, a lot of mocks are saying Jordan Davis. He's getting comparisons to Haloti Nada, and I love Nada, a great Raven, all-time great D tackle, especially here in the Baltimore area. But Nada, on his best day, wasn't generating crazy pressure on quarterbacks. And I think with Jordan Davis, yes, he's going to be great against the run on a first and second down, but on third down, he's going to be sitting next to Mike McDonald on the sideline. And I think when you pick a guy at 14, right smack dab in the middle of the first round, you need a guy that's going to come in and make immediate impact. Now, I think the Ravens should potentially look to package some of their picks. Let me go over the picks. Round one, pick 14. Round two, number 45. Round three, number 76 and 100. And of course, round four, where they own the fourth round. Number 110 from the Giants, well, number 119, number 128 from the Cardinals, number 139, number 141, and round six, number 196. Now, I think the Ravens should potentially look to get from 14 to maybe 9 or 10 if possible. So you package that number one, 14th overall pick, maybe with the third rounder, number 76 or number 100, or trade both of them to get up to maybe number 9 or number 10 to go get a Kayvon Thibodeau, who I think may fall tonight a little bit with I think 3 tackles going in the top 10. Could there be a situation where they trade up to try to get a Derek Stingley Jr.? I think Derek Stingley may be gone in the top 7, just looking at what I'm hearing on draft boards and the way he tested at his pro day. Make sure you check out our draft profiles about Derek Stingley, but I think he'll be gone in the top 7 potentially. So I think a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau could fall to 9, maybe 10. Do the Ravens try to trade up with a Seattle? Do they try to trade up with a New York Jets? Do they try to jump in front of a Washington Commanders at 11 and maybe take a Kayvon Thibodeau, or maybe a sliding Kyle Hamilton. I wouldn't be mad at Kyle Hamilton coming on the Ravens. I know we started and signed Marcus Williams, but you add Kyle Hamilton to this defense, you get a playmaker that can do it all in the defensive backfield. Do they maybe trade up to try to get one of those offensive linemen in the top 10, a Charles Cross who could fall to maybe a 7 or 8, but I don't think they'll be there. So I think maybe trading up, packaging one of those, if not both of those third round picks, getting up from 14 to maybe 10 or 11, even 9 to go get a Kayvon Thibodeau, a Jermaine Johnson the second potentially, guys that we need to come in and make an immediate impact, which I think they can, edge rushers, which I think is our number one need, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. And then in rounds two, and then if you trade the third, you have all those fourth round picks. I think you can get some starting caliber players in round two and rounds four. Now, if we stayed at 14, I think Jordan Davis would be the consensus of a favorite. But you know, with the draft, anything can happen. Trent McDuffie, I think it's a little early to take him personally. George Karlaftis, it's a little early to take him at 14. Now, if I play devil's advocate and they trade with the Packers or the Chiefs, who have 2 1s, and we trade back to the mid to late 20s, and they take 14 to come up and get a Jamison Williams or a Chris Olave or whomever, a George Karlaftis or a Tyler Lindenbaum, or even I would say a Trent McDuffie or Andrew Booth later in round one potentially. I know the three offensive tackles are pretty damn good, but after them, it is a drop off at tackle. Now, if you're telling me they can get 2 1s later in the round and get a Devin Lloyd, maybe N'Kobe Dean or Linderbaum or George Karlaftis in that 25 or later range and get more draft capital, I'd be cool with that. But I think ultra aggressiveness is the model for the night. No, don't oversell yourself. But I think in this draft, if you trade up maybe to 9 or 10, you can get a Kayvon Thibodeau, you can get a Jermaine Johnson II, you maybe can steal somebody who is falling in this draft, because we know great prospects always fall. And I think if the Ravens do sit pat at 14, they will get a good player. Like I said, I think it would be a Jordan Davis. It could be a little high, in my opinion, to take a guy that's only going to play 2 downs. He's a mammoth of the man. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. But on third down, we need guys that are going to be on the field that can get after the opposing quarterbacks, especially in this tough AFC North and this AFC as a whole. Now, I think the Ravens, like I said, should trade up, package that third round pick, 76 or 100, if not both, trade up into that top 9 or 10, and go get, if Derek Stingley falls, if Kayvon Thibodeau falls, Jermaine Johnson falls. Those are three guys I would love to take. I think Sauce Gardner is gone, as the Ravens do need help in depth at corner, but I would love to see the Ravens be aggressive, do something they don't normally do to get a different result. We've done the thing where we stayed pat. We've done the thing where we traded back accumulated picks. We need to be ultra aggressive. We need a home run, game breaker, a playmaker on preferably the defensive side of the ball, because I think the offensive linemen, the tackles will be gone. And I don't think there's worth another pick in the offensive line outside of Cross, Aquanu, and my guy Evan Neal worthy of taking before 2025 at the offensive line position, even with Tyler Linderbaum. Like I said, if we trade back Linderbaum, cool, but not at 14. Go up, get a Derek Stanley Jr., go up, get a Kyle Hamilton, go up, get a Kayvon Thibodeau, and add playmakers to this defense, guys that can help you immediately. I think we need pass rush first and foremost. I would love to somehow get Kayvon Thibodeau. I would love to somehow get Jermaine Johnson. Those would be my top two guys. Maybe an outside chance at Stingley if he's not gone by 7 to the Giants. Personally, see what the Ravens can do here. They need playmakers on defense. You got Mike McDonald as your new D coordinator. Get him some weapons. I personally, if we do trade back, I would take David Ajabo. That's just me. I love Ajabo. I wish he did get hurt. I would love him here at 14, but he'd probably be gone too. You probably would have to move up and pick him as well. But package that third round pick. Hey, package both third round picks maybe, and you maybe get a third in return or something in return. Go up into the top 10, get your guy, get somebody that's going to come in and start day one, make an immediate impact for this defense, in my opinion. And keep that second round pick. Second round pick, I think, is at 45, so you can still get a top 30, top 40 prospect, in my opinion. A guy that could slip to the second round and help this team compete now. You have Lamar, you know you got to pay him. Why not go all in? Use this draft to get players that will help you be competitive. Catch the Bengals in the AFC North. Catch those teams that you'll be competing against in the AFC, the conference, the murderers row of the AFC, to get back in the playoffs. This team won 8 games last year with Lamar getting hurt, with all the injuries, with the influx of terrible play calling and defense not being able to tackle and be inconsistent. But if you look at This team, you add some pieces in the first 2 to 3 rounds, a pass rusher, another piece on the offensive line, another defensive back, maybe a linebacker later on. I think this team has the tools to be competitive and get to that double digit win mark, which I think you're going to need at least 10, maybe 11 wins to get into the playoff conversation in the AFC with the teams in the conference and in your division. But trade up, package that third round with that first, go get Derek Stingley if he's there. Go get Kayvon Thibodeau. Go get Kyle Hamilton. Go get Jermaine Johnson. Go get one of those guys that are going to help change life for you on the defensive side of the ball. That is going to be a playmaker. That is going to play hard. That is going to help Mike McDonald in his transition with a young Adafe Owe. Hopefully, Tyus Bowser coming back. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. You signed Marcus Williams, Chuck Clark. Hopefully, Patrick Queen takes the jump. Now, I said Jordan Davis at 14, I wouldn't hate it, but it would be a situation where it's like, yeah, it's good, but we know he's not going to give us so much pressure on the quarterback, and he's going to be mainly there to help us with the run. We had the number one run defense last year. So, and teams aren't running the ball as much, and it's going to be less this year. You bring back Calais Campbell and Josh Bynes. I like those veteran signings. Do they maybe go back to the Justin Houston? Well, I don't want him to. Get younger. Go get Thibodeau. Go get Johnson. Go get Stingley if you need to. Put him as your third corner and nickel. You change life for your defense automatically right there, in my opinion. Kyle Hamilton, there are reports he could fall outside the top 10. Go up and get him. Do what you got to do to get your guy. And speaking of which, join us tonight here on the Flex Zone podcast. God's favorite host will be back with a crew, a host, a selection, a buffet of draft insiders, draft analysts, spectators, fans of various teams will get their instant reaction to the picks of the entire first round. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let me know about the video that I didn't like the video. It helps us out greatly. I appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think the Ravens should do. And what team should they trade up? Should they trade back? Should they stay where they're at? Who do you want the Ravens to draft? And what does it take to get them? What does this team need on both sides of the ball, especially on defense, the 32nd ranked defense against the pass? God's favorite host with the voice. We're your ones, the big knowledges. We the ones, the Flex Zone podcast. Only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. Draft coverage all day. Check out those draft profiles. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. Draft, live stream, watch along. Yours truly, God's favorite host, and the host of others from the Flex Zone, from disqualified opinions and other team insiders, draft analysts, giving their instant reactions to every pick, every trade, every guy that falls, every guy that rises, every reach. Here on the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. God's favorite host signing out. I'll see you guys later tonight. Subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, y'all, I'm gone. Happy draft day. Love you, Flex Zone family.